Hello, namaste and blessings. My name is Nela Mahat and I am Wisdom of the Divine Feminine. Thank you guys so much for being here today. Today we are experiencing the new moon and it's on the sign of Leo. How you guys feeling? I will, I guess I will share a little bit about where am I at right now with these energies. I feel very playful. I feel that my throat chakra is definitely feeling very active. I'm feeling this current of creative energy. I'm feeling very optimistic. I'm feeling like I'm just grateful. Yeah, gratitude, grateful. I'm just grateful for every experience that I have been having, even though those that are very challenging, they have been very triggering and hurtful and confusing, because at this point, by me having those experiences, I have gained a lot of clarity, a higher understanding about myself, right? Because in reality, everything that we experience in our lives is there to help us, to bring clarity, to illuminate our shadows, to help us understand what is it that we must change, right? Because change is inevitable. And if we have been living our lives in certain ways, doing certain things, responding to things or to things, situations, challenges this way, and we are not open to change, then we're gonna keep repeating in these cycles. When you really start to pay attention to the cycle where you at, and you're gonna start to find yourself having the same experiences with different people in different places in different ways, right? Because you're creating it. And if you are choosing to hold on to stay where you at, then you're gonna continue to manifest the same stuff, and it's gonna get tighter and tighter. It's gonna get really tight in there. Because guess what? We came here to evolve, to become better people, a better person. We're here to grow, to become the best version of ourselves. Okay? And yeah, I feel like we have been programmed, right? We have been programmed. We believe that we are here to just follow others, and we just settle, and this is who I am, and this is how I stay, and this is my way, and we just have become very fixated. That's just unhealthy. We are here to be humble enough to ask ourselves the right questions, and to recognize and to take accountability for the part that we are playing in our own suffering. Because we are the ones who are responsible for our own lives, for our own choices and decisions. There's nobody outside yourself to blame, okay? And so I feel that the message here that I'm trying to channel, or that is trying to be channeled through me, is very clear. You are where you are choosing to be. And there's nobody to blame. At this point, I feel that there's so much information out there. There's so much studies. There's so much information about how self-healing is possible. It is possible to overcome any unhealthy behavior. We can heal and bless our past, and yes, we can change, and yes, we can do whatever that we want. So if you are choosing to be in a cycle of misery, of lack, of victimization, self-pity, suffering, in reality, that's the suffering. It is because you're choosing to stay there, and you have to ask yourself, am I afraid of change? Am I afraid to ask him for help? And maybe, am I being stubborn? Am I resisting? Am I resisting the change that I know that I have to make? Because at this point, you know you are the only one responsible for your life and your life choices and decisions. All right? And so, just as everything has the light, there's also the shadow. And so, the light attributes of Leo, right? Leadership, optimism, lots of creativity, teamwork. Leo's great. We're talking about the positive qualities, right? When a Leo is in her power, they are powerful communicators. They are here to inspire. They can they go after what they want. They a lot of self-worth. They're beautiful and healthy, and they're great at teamwork. And leading people, leading by example, right? But then we have the shadow attributes of this sign: pessimistic, trying to control people, situations, outcomes, being manipulative, being fixated, meaning this is it, this is the only way. This is how I do things, and this is what I expect in others, and having expectations, right? Those are the shadow qualities of Leo. Being self-centered and wanting to be the center of attention, but from a place of being very insecure. We're talking about jealousy and envy, very in comparison, right? And so all of that exists within every freaking human being. And that's the truth. If you cannot recognize it in yourself, then all right, best of luck, really. We have to be humble enough to recognize our light attributes and our shadow attributes. We need to know ourselves, and we need to love every aspect of us. This is not about separation, but it's about wholeness, bringing together every part of us, every aspect, and really loving them, understanding them, right? Asking them the questions, being humble enough to place your hands in your heart and to say, I recognize today that I'm afraid of change. I recognize today that I create a lot of conflict because I'm afraid of confrontation. I'm afraid to be vulnerable. This is it. This is how we grow. This is how growth happens. This is how we evolve and become better everything, better human beings. Amazing. Okay, so we have, yes, here we are. We have hostilities, right? And so this is the energy of creating conflicts. And we have to understand that how you feel in the inside is going to be mirrored back at you in the outside. Okay? And so if your ecosystem, your inner system in the inside is all lost, is half or still holding on to unhealed trauma and experiences that you have not processed, in reality that's what trauma is. If you still feel that way inside, then you're going to project it into others. We're going to attract people also who are going to mirror certain things back to us. It's not just black or white, but the people in the outside are going to play the role, right? They're going to play the role that is needed in order to trigger you. And what happens with the triggers? The trigger, you have two ways to approach this, right? When you are triggered, you can see it on being black and white mentality, on I am a victim, and I start to blame the other person, and so I start to seek what's wrong about the other person. Or I can say, all right, I'm experiencing something that is triggering something deep within me, and this is because I have some things to heal. Now, if I have had something to communicate, to say, to recognize, or if I have questions to ask, I will do it after I process what's happening. Why? Because during a trigger moment, you are just feeling a lot of emotions. Triggers are It's past unresolved traumatic events and situations that you have experienced. They're still there. They're still lingering, all right? And so if you are experiencing conflict, use this that is happening as an invitation to heal, as an invitation to go inward, to process all the emotional stuff, to ask yourself questions, and be the observer of yourself experiencing this. Okay? Because it's time to take responsibility and accountability for our lives. We cannot live our lives blaming and playing victim and draining on self-pity and self-sabotaging our lives, our relationships, pushing people away, getting into isolation. We cannot expect that others are going to be how we want them to be and to act how we want them to act. And we cannot, right? If we do that, we are just going to end up alone. And that's not what we want. As humans, as people, we want closeness. We want deep intimacy, deep spiritual connections, right? We want to feel closeness, openness, love. But in order for us to receive that, we have to become that. And now we have the energy of the thinking man, yeah? And so this might be you thinking or reflecting, yeah, about a situation, about a person, about people. Or maybe this might be the energy of you thinking about changing things in your life. And so clearly with these two energies here, right? We are being asked with the number 6, being very present. This is the energy of we have to do the change. We have to change if we want to let go of this energy. Now we have all tied up, right? This is what happened. When we feel like we have no options. When we are veiled by inner conflict and emotions that we have not processed, we have a tendency to want to isolate, push people away. We just don't want to deal with what is there, right? With the hostile times, because that triggers. And so if you see this energy is very it's a reflection really of the shadow aspect of Leo, right? They can also become very like overthinkers, and they also can be very focused on the material world, right? They can become very greedy, and they chase after money and status, and so it's time to reflect about that, right? What are your heart desires? Are they in alignment with the highest good of all, of everyone involved? Is it are my intentions pure-hearted, right? I'm also seeing this like as really recognizing that you are the love you're seeking. You can provide for yourself. You just have to let go of all self-limiting beliefs that are keeping you inside a box, and you have to just open yourself, embrace this energy of things happening that are out of your control, and really utilize this time to go inward and ask yourself the right questions. Humility, right? Remembering that nobody's perfect, that we are all here to learn, to grow, that, sometimes we hurt others consciously or unconsciously. We all do it. We all have done it. And so forgiveness is the gift here. Okay, I'm just going to use the tarot now, and then we're going to close this. Beautiful, beautiful energy. We have the Death card. This is your opportunity to really close this cycle of feeling that you have to protect, feeling that you are, you have to be defensive, that I have to punch you back, I have to go and I have to protect myself. And it's time to It's time to heal. It's time to go to the other side to really start to attract those experiences, you know, that are positive for us, but everything is a reflection of us. Everything starts with us. When you change, everything else change. All right, we have the energy of the sun, so this is an invitation for inner child healer, the inner teenager healing, channeling your creativity and giving your inner child and your inner teenager, right? Giving them the opportunity to shine, to be humble, to be playful, to be curious, to be loving, okay? Please don't get lost in these energies of I have to protect and people are out there to get me and people are against me and everybody want to take from me and I have no option but to become a people pleaser, blah, blah, blah. We create all these stuffs, all right? But I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for listening. Once again,